Welcome back to the Tim Weichselbaum Show. This is episode 38. We are coming to you from a secret location in the lower United States of the Pacific Northwest continuity. Anyway, my name is Tim Weichselbaum. If you did not gather that by the title of the show, this is going to be one of those episodes where it's just like, okay, let's see how far I could get into this. This will be probably a short episode. Sometimes you just got to put it out. You got to put the work in, make a product, and see what happens. Content. That's what I'm good at not doing. That's what I'm good at not producing. Content. Dude, that's kind of the job of a comedian, of a podcaster, of pretty much anybody that's online. If you're online and you're trying to make a name of yourself, you kind of have to put out something that's like has like something in there. I mean, for people to like follow you and care about you, you have to put together like a nice little packaged, itemized deal. I'm frustrated at myself for not being good at that, for not being somebody that could produce content. I used to have the energy for that. I think that's the problem, is I just don't have the energy to like get up, do stuff, plan stuff out, make a little like script for like a script for a skit. I don't want to spend time on anything that takes time for me to get the thing that I want out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Here's what I'm trying to say here. Like, I want to be able to reap the reward that other people reap for putting out good shit, but I don't want to do that part. I don't want to do the putting out good shit part. I just want the benefit of what it gets you to put out good shit. Like, whenever like an actor, I want to be like The Rock. I want to be paid. I want to have the fans that he has. I want the admiration that he has. But I don't want to work for that shit. I don't want to work for it. Same with a comedian that I can't, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. I want his fame and career, but I don't want to do anything to get there that's hard, or like I have to like get out of bed to do. Anything I can't do from my own bed is not worth doing. TikTok, you could just make TikToks in your bed and you never know. It might get 1,000 likes. Views is nothing. If getting 1,000 views, yeah, anyone could just get 1,000 views pretty much, just filming yourself in bed saying something somewhat interesting. It has to be somewhat interesting. You can't just film yourself going like, You can if it's a reaction video, actually. So never mind. Even that is true. You could get get like 1 million views just by not reacting to another video. You just duet a video and you just go like that. You don't react, you don't move a muscle, but you upload it and it gets it gets like 1 million views. 1,000, I don't know why I keep trying to say 1,000. That's not a lot. 1,000 views is nothing, man. 1,000 views on a podcast, that is something, because those are like higher quality views because it's a longer form thing. Like getting somebody to watch an entire podcast is a way more high quality view than just like a 10-second TikTok. So it's all relative to the type of content you're putting out. Like for TikTok, 100,000 views is not that special, not that hard to get. But to get that consistently, yeah, that's something. That's something, I think. I'm still very new in the game. But anyway, this is still the intro of the episode. I didn't mean to get into the meat, into the heavy stuff. I got to start, I like to start these things out by just talking a little bit about my current state, my current mind, or how my week has gone. And I don't really keep track of the weeks anymore. I know what day it is most of the time, but not really. Like, what day is it now? We're in between days. It's usually when I like to record, when I'm in between days. Like, it's 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, which it's like, okay, is it still Monday? No, yes, that's when I woke up. So yeah, it still feels like Monday to me. But also, Monday doesn't really feel like anything different than the other days to me either. I just care about what the world is doing, but my life is not affected by what the day is. Like Monday, Wednesday, what's the difference? Those labels mean nothing to me, but I take note if it's the weekend or not for other people's sake. If it's a holiday, sometimes I might need to know. Like, I don't usually have to know. I don't celebrate nothing. What holidays do I celebrate? Literally can't think of a single one. Christmas, I used to celebrate because I had a family that cared about that. I didn't create that family. I had nothing to do with that family existing. I was just one of the people born into it. And they're like, hey, we got these goofy holidays. Every year we do this tradition. We do these things. And it's fun. And you're going to love it. And I did. Christmas was the whole world to me as a kid, and that was weird, man. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't be addicted to the holidays as a kid, man. That's like the first adrenaline. That was the first form of drug that I abused, was Christmas. Just like staying up, the insomnia. That was my earliest memory of when I had insomnia. Is like Christmas 95. It's one of my earliest lucid memories that is chiseled into my brain. I'm in my bedroom, Glenview, Illinois. I'm lying in bed, and I just am so excited for Christmas the next day, for, opening presents and all that, and like Santa Claus. I don't want to do anything wrong for him to not show up, because I believed in Santa Claus at this time. And I was like, I know what I'm getting. I know what I asked for, and so I'm probably gonna get it. It was a reasonable thing to ask. I don't know, man. So, but that not being able to go to bed because of the excitement, and like, I don't know if I even ever did sleep that night, or one of these nights I'm thinking. I have a couple memories of that bedroom. And that's the only place I remember in that house. That's freaking weird, man. Anyway, so that Christmas, like, I was up until who knows when in the who knows how late. I don't think I knew how time worked. So I don't I don't have any memory of going like, oh man, it's 4 a.m. Can't believe I'm up still. I don't have that memory because that was before I even knew what staying up late meant. I didn't have a concept of like how late it was. So who the hell knows, man? Maybe it was only like 11 p.m. or some kid shit like that. And I was a kid, and I just remembered this. I was so stimulated, and I was telling myself, "You gotta go to bed. You gotta go to bed, man." But I couldn't, and I was like hallucinating. I was like closing my eyes and like seeing like this colorful glitter of Christmas. That was the Christmas spirit that I was seeing. I thought that's what it was. That was before I understood what just being overtired. I don't know. It was just being overtired and falling asleep. The process of falling asleep is that's when you hallucinate. And I had that as a kid, dude. I always had messed up dreams as a kid. And I do as so it's no surprise that I still have a crazy relationship with sleep. I've always had, I guess, like weird dreams and nightmares and insomnia. And it's really like I'm a deep dreamer type of person. Like my dreams are pretty much who I am. They are. I wouldn't be the same person without the dreams I've had. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is I care more about my dreams than I do real life. Like if something happens in a dream, I take that with more weight than what happens in waking life. Like if somebody, for example, hey, I'm not even kidding here. Like if I meet somebody famous in real life, I go, well, I've already dreamt about you. That's way more important than real. I don't care. Okay, I met you in real life. Big whoop. Real life is not as cool. Real life is where you get disappointed by the meaningless, or not the meaninglessness of it, because real life is more meaningful than dreams to some extent. Is it? Well, that's even debatable too. Dreams are more important than reality. I'll say that too. Fuck it. I'm saying that. I'm being the first. I'll take that opinion on this podcast. I don't care, man. I'm saying it. What happens in my dreams, I care way more about than real life. Like, as long as I dream that I have a nice car, that's pretty much just as good as actually having a nice car, man. Because you could drive it off a mountain in a dream and nothing bad will happen. In real life, you got to worry about little scratches and then like, oh, one false move because I was going too fast or I didn't see a red light or some BS like that. And the rest of your life, you got to deal with the consequences of that little tiny blip of misjudgment. Whereas in a dream, it's like, hey, I don't give a crap if I scratch something, if I killed a person. I could just snap my fingers, boom, I'm in a different place. Different scene, new assets, new 3D objects. All dreams are 3D. That's a nice feature. Dreams, that would suck if they were in 2D, man. Yeah, why would they be anyway? That doesn't make sense. Reality is not two-dimensional, man. 2D was invented by humans to make it easier to make cartoons. That's it. To make it easier to make films. That's it. If Disney could make, Pinocchio in real-time action, real life, they would just film it. If they could hire a cricket to be Geppetto and have a bunch of kids transform into donkeys by smoking a bunch of cigars, they would just film it. They wouldn't have to draw Pleasure Island, waste the time drawing it frame by frame. If they could just go and tell a bunch of actors, hey, we're doing this, read the script, this is your part. Nah, they had to fabricate it. They had to be like, hey, we found this guy. He could pretend to be a cricket. It's like, hey, okay. So he had to be small, though. He has to be the size. He has to actually be smaller than other actors. We can't just hire a real cricket to play Geppetto, or whatever the guy's name is, Jiminy. We can't just hire a real cricket, obviously. It's not anthropomorphic for that. There's a long list of reasons why we can't hire a cricket. Like, yeah, some of them can follow basic instructions, but there's many other issues. Many other issues. Got to audition a bunch of cricket. Anyway, so to bring it back to the reason I go on that rant about Disney and like animation. The only reason we got animation is because we can't just be like, here, boom, here's this beautiful real life image. No, we just do it on a piece of paper because then we could turn it over. There's another place to do other shit. You see, the thing is, we're never going to run out of pieces of paper because there's so many like pieces of paper that they're flat, and we live in like a 3D. All it takes is the tiniest. All it takes is like this thin of a sheet of paper of material for you to have a whole page. Actually, it's not even about how many pages. Just the thinness of the paper has to be. That's what I'm talking. I'm just talking about the thickness of the paper. So if you, it's like the size of a human hair. That's how, if that's it. There's receipt paper. You could almost see through that shit, but you could also fit a lot of information on that thing. So the whole point of things being 2D is because it lets you fit more shit on it in a smaller area. That's the whole point of 2D shit. Nature doesn't really like 2D shit. If you haven't noticed, nature is just is always 3D. There's nothing in nature that's just like flat or one-dimensional either, because that's also not where we're at. Sorry to mumble over myself here, but this is a very cohesive thought that I'm transmitting here, so let's get down to it. You get it? There's nothing in nature that's flat, okay? Like everything you have to focus on. And there's you can only keep one thing in focus at a time. If you're looking at like a slide in a microscope, you can only focus on one thing at a time. And even then, if it's a big blob of a thing, if it has any depth whatsoever, you can only see a little bit of it at a time. Even microscopic things are not flat. They just appear flat because they're small. And they're smushed in a slide to literally flatten them. That's also just made me say, hey, you don't always hear like breakthrough discovery type new age content on a pod, but sometimes you do. And this is one of those times where you do, because here I am just telling you straight up, hey, there's no such thing as a flat shit in the universe. The universe that we live in, this reality that we're in, it's 4D or 3. Let's just start with 3D. I don't know. Maybe it's 4D too, but that's beyond this. That's beyond the scope of this conversation. I would love to talk about the 4 dimension, the fourth one, but I don't understand it. It's beyond me, and I know my limitations as a mathematician, as a geometrist. So anyway, you don't often hear about breakthrough geometrical wisdom every day. You don't see that on TikTok. Hey, maybe that'll be my niche. But I'm trying to think of something like, okay, what is flat in the world? Glaciers, I guess, but not only on a microscopic level, not on a macro. On a macro level, glaciers are slightly curved. They go along with the curvature of the thing that they were melted in. Formed in. Glaciers start out as huge swaths of ice or water. I don't know what comes first. The water formed the glacier. I don't think anything formed as ice, but it started as hydrogen. I'm not a chemist. Let's not even go. See, that's a question that we can answer on a later episode if we want to get sciencey. Is which came first, water or ice? I'm sure I could just Google it. I'm sure there's an answer, but I don't care. So we're not going to spend more time in talking about that. But nothing's flat in the universe, so that's why dreams. So we started talking about dreams. So let's go back to that top. That's the big topic that we're on, and there's many like topics within the whatever. Oeuvre, I don't think is the right word, but sometimes you just want to use a word and you second guess yourself and you go, nope, I'm gonna pull out of this sentence. And I'm trying to not do that anymore. So if I have something I don't feel confident in saying, I'm just gonna say it anyway, because I don't like those stops, those sudden breaks in conversation that I'm having with myself on this podcast. Because I listen back to it, I go, just say it. Just say it. Stop thinking while you're talking. That's the thing I gotta learn to stop doing, is thinking while talking. Because you gotta learn to just stop talking for a bit if you don't know what your sentence is. You gotta pre-conceptualize your sentences before you say them. How about that? I see. My problem is I'll just start launching into a sentence and hope I land into something that makes sense. I just throw out a line, like a fishing pole. I go, okay, where we go? Here, I got something. I don't have time to think of a full thought, but I got something, because otherwise I'm not going to have time for you. You're going to stop paying attention. So here it is. And then I just string together words, and I hope that at the end of it, it makes sense. But I could tell when I'm looking at somebody that they're like, they don't trust me, that it's going to go anywhere. And I can't blame them, because it's not usually. It's not always going to. I'm not quick enough to think out a whole sentence before I say it. So anyway, dreams are better than reality. You could just, and they're endless. They're infinite. You wake up feeling like crap. I'm trying not, yeah. You wake up feeling like garbage if you dream all night, because that's not the quality sleep. You need deep sleep where you don't dream as well as the REM sleep where you do dream. So, but if you're dreaming all night, that's your brain compensating for the fact that your waking life is boring or bad, stressful, just not stimulating enough. If your waking life is not satisfying you and you don't go to bed ready to sleep yet, your brain is going to do what it can to give you what you need, I guess, which is fun dreams. Because my dreams are okay. They're fun. They're not always lucid, but I roll with it. I never get, I have some nightmares occasionally, but not that often. You would think I would have more nightmares based on my personality. But most of my dreams are just me thinking that I bought new property or that I have a nice apartment. I'm such a surplus hedonistic type. I love having a surplus of stuff I don't need, but I like knowing I have it. It's gross. I'm a hoarder. But you would, not in the literal, I am though. I'm not a hoarder in the traditional, my house is filled with stuff. I'm a minimalist if you look at my house. And we'll get more into that later. I'm still in the intro of the podcast, but I'm not a hoarder. But I like having a surplus of things that prove status and wealth. So I have this recurring dream of having a new apartment that I didn't even know about. That it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is my apartment. And it's new and a new city. I don't know. The city varies time to time. But it's usually in a high rise. It's usually in a cool part of a city, and I'm looking out the window and I'm discovering how cool and big this apartment is. And then I find new rooms in it, and I go, oh, there's a secret room here. And that's a recurring theme, is discovering new rooms in an apartment. And that's very boring sounding, and it is. It's boring. It gets old. It's like, okay, this dream again. I have a new apartment with new rooms. Whoopee. I guess that's just something my deep. That's how boring I am. I guess because if I'm having the same dream every night almost, I guess that's the whole description of my personality, or of my inner yearning, my inner desire as a person, is to just have a house with a bunch of rooms that I don't need, like The Sims. It's one of the best games of all time. And like the feeling of just having a surplus of money at first feels amazing in that game, but then it gets boring immediately. You gotta role play to keep it going, to keep the story interesting. You gotta like role play in your head, because the game itself doesn't do that for you. It just tells you, okay, you divorced somebody, you had a bunch of kids out of wedlock, you home wrecked somebody's mansion, you just started going to somebody. It's so fun though. But it's fun because in your mind you're thinking of this evil storyline that your sim is propagating. It is just fun, man. But once you become wealthy, which is so easy in that game, it's so easy. You could do it as a dude. You just become a young adult. You go to the nearest rich person's house. You befriend them. Then you eventually move in with them. You become their spouse. It takes like 2 days in the game. Literally, like a week. And boom, you're married. And you have access to their entire finances. Their net worth is your net worth. So boom, you divorce them, you get rid of them, you kill them in a fire. Who gives a shit? They're out of your life. They don't matter anymore. Your sim is living forever because you have the attribute that we have, like you just live forever. In Sims 3, that's the one I'm talking about. That's the best one. Man, is that game fun. So so all of a sudden you're a millionaire in that game. You don't have to work a day in your life. You just get older. You outlive your own kids. They have kids, and then eventually it'll die off, or I don't know what happens. The neighborhood becomes overpopulated with nothing but kids that belong to you, that you're related to, so you can't have sex with them anymore because the game cuts you off. Just like, okay, you already fucked everybody. Everybody in the game is your descendant. Every other branch of the family of the neighborhood, their family, their bloodline merged with yours. You didn't let one slip through the cracks. So anyway, so it's like, okay, so everyone's going to die off, I guess, because they can't have sex with their siblings or their cousins. I don't actually know how far it goes, how that works in the game. But real life is kind of like that too. And so that's all I want though in life is like, because that's all I'm dreaming about. It's not very variable what I dream about. And that's not even like a thing to chase in real life. Just having a bigger house. I don't really want that in real life. I do, I guess subconsciously though, because that's what my dreams are telling me. I do like the idea of just having a house in like every place that you want to go to and visit. I just like always like being like, yeah, man, I'm in, I'll go to Chicago. This is my Chicago. I have a house in Chicago. I have one in New York, Florida. I just go wherever, man. California. I would have a house in California, man. It's becoming cool again to live in California because you have to be so like rich that now it's becoming cool again to live there. They have all these taxes and like bureaucracy, and like it's so hard to like be industrious there and be like an entrepreneur there, that it's so like you have to be elite. You have to have some form of income or financial wealth that you just somehow can afford it. And that's cool, man, by exclusion. But there's still poor people. There's still so many homeless people, but I'm not talking about the cities. If I lived in California, why would I live in the city? Why would I live in San Francisco? Like that's not what the cool people do. That's not what rich people do. They don't, maybe in even LA, it's not glamorous to live in a skyscraper in LA. In New York, it's kind of cool. That is what rich people buy in New York. If they live, I don't know if they live there, but if they have an apartment in Manhattan, it's still cool to be a billionaire and live on the 100th floor of a skyscraper. So anyway, that's what I would have in New York. But that feels so wasteful. But it's not, because that's just what you're supposed to do. At that level of wealth, if you could afford a $60 million apartment in New York, like right, that takes up the whole floor of the building, which is so cool. In Billionaires Row, like 57th Street or whatever avenue, whatever, wherever. If you could blow that kind of money on real estate, you're not going to use it to its fullest extent because your mind is spread. You could do anything. You could be in the Bahamas. Why would you spend all your time in New York just looking at the Central Park and like it gets old, like through a telescope? That would get old. People would be looking at you, looking back at them. That's the creepy thing about living in a skyline, is you could be looking at people, like taking pictures of just a random building, skyscraper, apartment building. And if you zoom in, if you take a high resolution picture, if you zoom in, eventually you'll see somebody on their balcony just looking right at you, just looking right back at you with a telephoto lens or a telescope, doing the exact same thing that you were doing to them. The odds are there's going to be somebody creeping on you when you're creeping on them. It's going to be a mutual creep opportunity. If you live within eyesight of that many other people. So it's weird, man. So you got to close your window. You got to be mindful of leaving your shade open to your balcony or wherever that has a lot of people looking there, man. You can't just walk around with your dick out, man. I learned that. I didn't get in trouble because I was super conscious of this. This was a couple of years ago. This was a year ago before I moved here. Before I moved to the great state of Texas, I lived in a high-rise apartment building. Not high-rise. It was only 5 stories, but I lived on the 5th story, and I loved it. And I had a balcony that was exposed to hundreds of other apartments. So that's why I know this, because I became a creep. I got into the hobby of astrophotography. That was my cover. What I was really doing was just creeping on people all day. I was just looking through a telephoto lens, and it was attached to, I got a live feed to my monitor, which was huge. A huge 4K monitor. I was just constantly looking through other people's windows, trying to see something to jerk off to. And it, obviously once you strike gold, you're going to be glued to that apartment. You're going to be like, okay, I guess I'm going to always look at this apartment. Because then the other one's like, oh, I don't even give a shit about the other ones anymore. I got one that actually gives me a story to follow. And then all the other ones, I can't believe I was like jerking off to that boring lamp that a few people walked by. Now I got somebody actually walking. Once you hit gold. So, but I was subtle about it. I didn't like make it obvious that I was jerking off to them. I did it in the shadows. I had the thing out there on my balcony, so there was an unobstructed view. So it was obvious. It was pretty obvious that I was up to something creepy, because I had a telephoto lens just out there alone. It was going through Wi-Fi. So I don't know what it looked like, and nobody ever gave me shit for it, because they're like, nope. I just got away with it, dude. This was during COVID. Nobody was like talking to each other. But I would have just said, if I got caught, I would have just said, oh, yeah, I'm taking a time lapse. And they would have been like, again? It's like, yeah, again. Didn't come out right. It takes a while to perfect the art of time lapses. There's so many variables you could mess up. It's a good way to learn how to use your camera. It's by taking a time lapse. And I never quite got a good one. And after trying very hard for a few days, I looked back at the very first one I ever did, and I was like, this is the best one. The best one was the one I put out without knowing how to use my camera at all. So that's all you need to know about education, is that usually sometimes it just makes you frustrated. It's like, oh, I learned how to use the camera, but now the being ignorant was actually a strength. The less effort I was putting in yielded a better product. And that brings me to the first topic of this episode that I actually was planning on covering, and that is TikTok. I guess we're going in there. I guess we're talking about this. I guess we're doing it. So I've been obsessed with TikTok. Not as like somebody just watching the videos. I've been obsessed with it as a creator. And so far I haven't created anything worthwhile. Nothing. And so it's like, okay, I'm not good at this yet. I don't know if I'll ever be good at it, because like I have this fatigue that's ingrained into my bones. It's deep into my bones, this fatigue. It's everywhere. It's in my joints. It's like, do I want to do anything? And that's where I kind of started talking about with the whole dreaming thing. Dreams are free. You could do them literally in your sleep. And there's something beautiful about that. And I come up with my best stuff like right as I'm falling asleep. Right as I'm too lazy to write it down. So it just goes away. So I gotta learn how to make money in my dreams, man. Because in real life and waking life, like where shit is like material in the material world, I'm bombing. I just don't have this grit. I don't have this drive to produce real content. And maybe it's not that I don't. It's that I don't. It's just that I don't have anything. I have no ideas. I think that's it. I look at myself as a creative person. So I thought I was good at thinking of stuff which should lend itself to producing some sort of content. Like sometimes I have good ideas here and there. I think it's like, oh, that was a smart thing I just said. But then what? Then it just goes away. But I think TikTok is perfect for that type of behavior. For that type of at this point, whatever word I'm thinking of, it really temperament. See, temperament is a very important thing. I'm trying to think of like a fancier word than important. Because I hate the word important because I don't know how to say it. It's like, do I have to stress? Do I have to say the T's? Do I have to pronounce all the T's? Sometimes you don't have to pronounce any of the T's. You can just say important. That's very important. But sentiment and temperament is the word I'm talking about right now. You need a specific type of temperament to be a TikToker. And I don't know. I don't think I do yet. I think part of me is great for that because I could just put out something that was funny in the moment and then never do it again. I love that part of it because that's what I do in stand-up. In stand-up, I'm such a... There's no word. The words that I'm thinking are only going to sound pretentious. But I'm such a bad comedian that I like to not repeat stuff that I've already done. I just don't have the ability to put the sparkle into stuff that I've already done. And it's a learned ability. You get better at it by doing it. That's just something that the job requires of being a stand-up, is repeating bits over and over. And some people are way better at that. And I was terrible at that. It's because I just don't like doing it. I want to feel the spontaneity of not knowing if something's funny until I say it. I just like that. I like the feeling of getting a first laugh. So anyways, for TikTok, that is perfect because you don't have to That's what a TikTok is. It's just something that you put out. It immediately either hits or it doesn't. And then if it's funny, it'll have longevity, but you'd never have to repeat that again. Or you might want to reprise. You might want to redo the format of the TikTok, but the joke itself, you could just think of a new one if that's what you enjoy doing, which I do, or I did. Back in the day when I actually got pleasure out of like writing jokes, that was part of it. That was fun. So so the part that I suck at for TikTok, the talk, we'll call it. I suck at the not being emotion. The temperament requires not going with your emotions. Like same with trading stocks, being an investor, you gotta be patient. And same with TikTok, the talk, I meant to say. What I'm trying to say is that you gotta be okay with your videos flopping and continuing the effort despite the feeling of discouragement and rejection. Like if you put out a video that you think is funny and it gets nothing, it's like, okay, how much of this can I take? How much of me not feeling what I want, how much of that can I take? Because you gotta be a workhorse. You gotta continually churn out content and be okay with it not all being good, not all getting the right reception or whatever, like the reception that you desire. Because of course you want every video to get 1 million, whatever your threshold is for it to be considered a success. You want it to give you or at least that's how I am. So to get the feeling of going, okay, that one did not go anywhere. Keep trying. Yeah, you got to keep trying. And if but I don't know because I want to not. First of all, I want a big number next to my name. That's why I'm chasing the TikTok content creator hobby or path that I'm chasing. I'm chasing it primarily because I want a following. I want people to like me en masse. I want a big number next to my name on any platform, so that's what draws me. So to get that, there's many ways to go about it. You could steal other people's content and just be a reaction guy and just comment on stuff that already is viral, which is so far the only thing that worked. I just took a video off Reddit of a person driving poorly, driving on top of another. They just drove on top of another car. And I just put myself in the corner as a fork. I used a filter to make me a fork. And I was just like, you're not supposed to do that or something. I don't even know what I said. It was stupid. I was like, I think it was the blue car's fault. Even though it was clearly not the blue car's fault. And that one got 100,000 views in the first day. So that was my breakout video so far. And so I was like, okay, I guess this is something that works. I knew it was, I don't know. I was just like, okay, that one worked. That's cool. I didn't know it would do anything. I wasn't expecting it to. I knew it was kind of okay just because it was short. It was only 7 seconds and it was interesting what it was. And in the video on Reddit got a lot of buzz. It was a very popular clip. So anyway, it had nothing to do with me. All I was doing was sharing a video that was already popular and putting my face on it. So that's not really a way to get the type of followers that I didn't get that many followers. Very few people would follow. Like I got like, I don't know, 50, something like that, followers from a video that got 100,000 views. So that tells you that ain't me that's getting the views, man. That's just somebody else's content. So that ain't really that satisfying. And that's kind of a defeating. It's like, okay, so I could get views if I just do that. But that's not what I want. I don't want just views for the sake of views. Maybe, because you're doing something right. Like if you could repeat it and get tons of views, I guess that's still going to accumulate into something that's valuable. But not really, man. On TikTok, I don't want low quality, views. And you want to have a certain like to view ratio. It's got to be like at least 1 to 10. In 10 views, you should get at least 1 like. For every 10 views, 1 like. And that's pretty hard to achieve. I've not even gotten close to that. So that's just all I need to know my content sucks. But it makes sense because I'm not putting in very much effort at all, man. I literally just made myself I just put a filter on. I've recorded it into my high quality in my camera quality. Who cares though? No one cares about that. They care about the content. They care about the hook and the punchline. There's got to be a hook. But so it's it's encouraging that at least I know the algorithm will favor what I'm not shadow banned or anything like that. It's nice to know that I could get more than a couple hundred views if I follow a formula. But that's the only one that got 100K so far. So the other ones only got like a couple thousand that were in the same format because they didn't have a good payoff or point to watch them. So the TikTok, the talk algorithm is pretty sophisticated, and it's not. I don't even think it is that sophisticated. I think it's a pretty easy way. It's not that hard to know if a video is worth watching if you record the right metrics. If you track how often a person watches the whole video and how often they rewatch it, that alone tells you if a view was a high quality view. If they just watch the whole thing. And if they rewatch it, I mean, come on, man, it's basic. YouTube has probably been doing the same thing. Like if you upload a YouTube video and get 0 views, it's not, that sucks. That means the algorithm didn't even give you a chance. They didn't even test it on a sample of people. If you get a couple views on a video platform such as Instagram, YouTube, the talk, it has tested your video on a small group of people, and that's how it knows if it's good enough to show to more people. It gets a read. How many likes did it get? How many full watches? How many, etc. Any little bit of feedback. So if you upload something that sucks, it's not going to show it to 100,000 people hoping that it's good. It's going to already know within the first dozen views if it's good or not. So that's encouraging, but it's also a realistic, it's like an objective reality check. It's like, okay, you think you're so good, you think what you made is high quality and worth watching? Well, you'll find out if you upload it to TikTok and it's a short form video. It's got to be short if you're new, if you have 0 followers, which I learned because, hey, I'm speaking from, I had 0 followers. And I'm up to 60, and that is not a lot. In a week of grinding on the platform and obsessing over it, losing sleep over it, I've only amassed I don't think that's the right word to use for that small of a number, but I've achieved, nope, that's not the right word. Yeah, I've only gained 60 followers, and that's still not bad though, because like I think it gets easier as they see that you're actually worth following. If you have a whatever, I am fine with it taking time. I don't mind that. I don't, but the thing is that this app is engineered to make you want that instant gratification so quickly. It just makes you want, like, dude, what do I gotta do to get that bump to get 1,000 followers? And that's why people get addicted. That's why content creators just, you see them doing the craziest thing. Like you see these regular ass looking women. There's just these middle of the road, suburban, just middle, mediocre. Just picture a woman of Walmart, just anyone, and they're doing the most ridiculous dance. That's because they're chasing after those likes. Because they got addicted to the feed of notification just coming at them. That fucking feeling of seeing a big number of unread notifications. Are you kidding me? You want more. It's like heroin. It's so addictive. So that's why you see pasty, just random women doing the most ridiculous. And I respect, I mean, it's not that I respect them, but I'm one of them. I don't disrespect them. I just see them as like, okay, they became addicted to something. And what did they think they were going to get like from going viral? All you get from going viral is a boost of numbers in your profile, and then they go away. If you're not putting something out that has recurring, reproducible quality, if you could reproduce it, then it'll keep going up and up. And then sure, you could be a personality as a career, and you'll get real off-platform opportunities. But if you just go viral once, and you can't figure out why, and you can't reproduce it, or it's from somebody else's content that you just rebranded, yeah, that's going to feel kind of painful probably, because then you're going to keep putting out new videos, and they get like 200 views. It's like, oh, I thought that would be it. I thought that would be the next one to pop. So if you don't know what works about the things that did go viral, yeah, you're just stabbing in the dark, man. And if you do it in a way that doesn't feel true to what you're, like if it feels gross, like rebranding, that's one thing. There's levels to that. Like putting out a reaction video is not a unviable way to start a career in entertainment. If you just put out videos of you reacting and going like that, like that, Khaby, the dude, the most popular dude, he has a shtick. He has a gimmick that he got famous for. But that's probably the best case. If that's the best case scenario, you could say that's kind of a bad thing, or you could say, well, hey, it's better than nothing. Because this whole entertainment business, you can't just because you dedicate yourself to it, doesn't mean it's going to reward you. Doesn't mean you're going to get the world to all your dreams to come. It's not guaranteed that it's actually pretty much a guarantee the other way. You're not going to get anywhere just because you decided, oh, I'm going to be an entertainer. Okay, get in line, man. Everybody wants it. Who doesn't want to be an entertainer? Like at the highest level, like in the most glamorized, taking planes, private jet. Everybody loves. Of course, who doesn't want to be that? So I was about to say, oh, isn't it sad that the most popular person on that platform is just a dude who has a gimmick? He just goes like that. And he doesn't even talk. And like, that's it? Just that he's just a meme? That's the pinnacle of what you could get out of this platform? It's like, yes, I guess so. That's it. That's the best anyone can hope for. And yeah, that's not worth it to a lot of people probably. It's like, if you know that that's the end result, which is not bad. But you could certainly want more than that. I don't think he's going to be a movie star. Because he doesn't have any he could be. And hey, fuck me. Actually, he could be a movie star just by doing cameos of him just doing that and not talking. But obviously that would get old. So it's just like a flavor of the month. It can only last so long before that gets old. But so, that's just that's just how it is. Not everybody could stay relevant forever and ever. And so that's kind of what I'm struggling with, is like in my off time when I'm in between talks, I'm spending a lot of time just thinking about like, what do I want from this platform? What am I doing this for? Is it all about the numbers and that injection of adrenaline or dopamine that I get? Is that 100% of what I'm getting out of it? Or am I going to try to actually use this to further my creative output or drive or satisfaction? Or is this going to be something I enjoy and I can actually be proud of? And so yes, I know what I want. I don't want to just be a dude that just chases the views and puts up stuff that is formulaic to the point where it's not me. Okay, formulaic is, you need to be formulaic. That's just how it works in this particular platform. You kind of have to be formulaic, or at least you have to put out something unique. And it's not easy to put out something unique twice a day. So to do it repetitively, my point, I don't want to be a sellout, but I also don't want to be unsuccessful. So that is what I'm trying to, like, okay, I know I like to do easy, low effort shit posting. Like that's my go-to talk, is just finding somebody that put out a acting challenge or a singing duet challenge, and I just duet them, and it's like very easy and minimal effort, and it's just very stupid what I do. I just make a parody, but nobody cares about it. It's not good. It doesn't have a reason to be shown to people or for people to watch. So I can't just keep doing that and expect to get anywhere. And this whole putting out small little talks, I didn't think it would be easy, or did I? I don't know what I thought, but I just know I have to actually up the quality. And because if you want longevity, which I do, I don't want to just be a meme that is fleeting. Because going viral is fleeting. It could resurface and it could change your life if it's that big of a fucking meme. But if it's just something that gets a couple million views, yeah, that's not enough to change your life. That's just enough for somebody to go, oh, that was funny, and then move on. Or they show it to their friend and same thing. Oh, who is that guy? Oh, okay, yeah, that was his only good one, so fuck him. You gotta. Because I was thinking because there's always been people that have a show that is just recycling content or showcasing other viral videos, like Ray William Johnson on YouTube. Back in the day, he would just put out a daily video of him. Okay, here's this viral video Oh, that was crazy. Oh, here's another one. That was crazy. It's like, okay, we're watching for that. We're not watching for him. Whatever he added to the video, I don't remember a single thing of his personality. I can't think of anything he's done that was memorable. And I also don't remember the videos. So maybe that's a bad example. But the point, not really, because he's irrelevant now. He was super relevant. He went from being the most watched internet personality to being a complete unknown. Like, nobody talks. What is he doing now? What is Ray William Johnson doing now? And maybe he is doing something now. But even if he doesn't disprove my point, because there's a million others that have definitely fallen off the radar because they thought of one thing that worked and they just did that one thing, and then that got old or stale or went out of trend. So to be relevant your whole life, you gotta be like George Carlin. You gotta be a personality that's irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. He was more than just a personality. He had some great bits. His bits were so fucking profound. So, but you gotta be like Louis C.K. People don't watch Louis C.K. because he is just famous for the sake of... It's not because he's showcasing other people's shit. He's showcasing his own. So what I'm getting at with myself is, if I'm going to feel good about myself pursuing the lifestyle of a TikToker, it's got to be with content that I can be proud of, I think. It's got to be stuff that showcases me. It's got to be original content. Now, that is a scary thing to me, coming up with original. I can't even come up with a single skit that I think is fun or joke. I would just do jokes. If I had jokes, like dad jokes, I tried it with one, but I gotta have, I don't know, that takes balls to put your face. So I don't like using my face. But you kind of have to. But anyway, I could use my voice. I could just use my voice. That's why I have a filter. I use a Snapchat filter that turns me into a pickle. But it's not original, man. Anyone can just do that. It's been done. So maybe I'll have to make my own filter. That'd be cool. I looked into it. It's actually pretty technically, that takes time to make your own Snapchat filters, but it's free. Anyone can just download the software. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but I don't want to just spend hours and hours creating a dumb filter and then put up something that's not going to sell. It's not going to get anywhere. And it's got to be clean. That's another thing. I got to, in addition to, so I got to find my voice on the talk. I thought I had a voice, kind of like with the Italian accent and the dumb Chicago and the hair combed to the side. I thought I had a new character or that was ready to be shown, but I never really did think it was that good. But I gotta, because I looked at all my jokes, and every single one of them is adult oriented. They only have an adult audience, and I think I'm better than that. I think I'm better than having to do risque, shocking comedy to get a laugh, man. Because I know that I'm funnier than that. I just know. So I gotta use my raw skills, not the ones that are just like, I gotta become child appropriate, because it's so easy to get banned from that platform, and I probably will get banned because I already had 2 content violations because I uploaded a dude on a motorcycle getting thrown off his motorcycle. So okay, that's right, you can't show people getting hurt. So anyway, it's got to be clean. It's got to be something for kids. I don't even care if it's for kids, man. I don't need the respect of people that some people would not would think they're above. Whatever. It's got to be something I think is funny, that I'm not ashamed of, and that gets that people actually want to watch. Is that so hard? Yes. Yes, it is. But I'm going to keep trying. Anyway, so that was the first topic. We covered that. We nailed it. We nailed the topic of TikTok. Because you can't just be doing it for the views, man. It's like, of course, I'm not going to keep doing it if I don't get views. And that's part of the problem, man. You need perseverance. You need to keep believing that what you're doing is good, even if it's getting nowhere. And I don't know how that works, actually, because if you don't get that, if they're not going anywhere, it's probably a bad premise. I've already kind of figured out that some of my premises are never going to go anywhere, but that might not be the case. It might just be that, okay, I just haven't edited it in the right way, because I keep doing these. I started off just by doing these duets of people just doing like, okay, sing with me. You're the blue. You sing the blue lines. It's easy to do that. So I just put many of those out, but in like one of them cracked 1,000 views, but that was a fluke. Nothing about it seemed interesting compared to the other. I thought the others were way better. But anyway, it's got to be so succinct. If it's a 5 to 7 second long video, it'll be shown to more people because the algorithm's taking less of a risk. It's like, oh, it's only 7 seconds. Okay, I'll just show it to a few hundred people to see if it's worth showing to more people. But if a format is not working at all, to keep trying to do it, you got to know when to move on to the next premise, man. But I think it's possible that I just haven't done one that was good enough. Like, I have premises that I still kind of have some belief it could be funny if I keep putting them out. So you can't get too discouraged. You gotta not be too obsessed about the numbers, but you also have to know why and it's tough to know sometimes, man. So anyway, it is a weird thing to chase. And then even if you do get successful on it, monetizing it is whole nother thing, man. Because you have 1 million followers, and you get an average of 500,000 views per video every single day. 1 million, whatever. Let's just say you get 1 million views a day. However you want to call it. How do you turn that into dollars and cents, man? How do you make it a career? How do you make it a living? You just sell mugs? How many mugs? How much money can you be making off mugs if you have 1 million views a day? Let's just do the math. We got time. Let's do the math. Let's say you get 1 million views a day, and how many people would buy? What are the ads? This is going to buy a mug off of funny TikTokers. What are the ads? 1 in 100,000, 10 a day. I think that's probably that's the lowest, most conservative answer. 10 mugs sold for every 1 million views. Okay. How much money could you make off 10 mugs? Let's say they're $20, they're very expensive mugs. Let's just say you make $10. Yeah, you would probably only make like $10 off each mug. So that's $100 a day, and you're getting 1 million views. That's sad. I mean, it's not sad because it's just what if that's your only revenue stream, you're not doing a good. It is. Hey, I'm gonna stick with it. That is sad if that's your only idea to monetize. If all you're doing is selling one item, you gotta mix it up. You gotta think of a better way to monetize. But what could that be? Going to comedy clubs where you gotta have a good set. You gotta do an hour of material to make real money at comedy clubs. That's too much work. Are you kidding me? And if you're doing TikTok videos, that takes up time that's taken away. It's tough, man, to be a full-time comedian and TikToker, whatever. It doesn't have to be full-time. That's the beauty of it, is you could do it as often as you please. But it's also like, okay, good luck putting out consistently good quality content. And it's just a humbling experience, man. It's humbling to know that me just putting in the bare minimum is not enough to get attention. Well, maybe I needed that. It's crazy. Another thing I thought about sleeping and like how, not sleep, but like depression. It's like, what did I think? I have pride. Like people with depression still have pride. It's like they would rather do nothing with their lives than hang out with people that they don't deem worthy of them. Like they'd rather just sleep until, they'd rather have zero life and just have like no belief in themselves and hate themselves, but they still have pride. It's like, no, man, I'm not going to why would I waste my time doing something I don't love or believe in when I could just be lying in bed all day, getting older and just doing absolutely, I'm more proud of doing nothing than putting out low quality content. How ridiculous is that? You could do both. You could lie in bed all day and put out bad quality content. But something stopped me from doing things. Sometimes pride. I don't know. It's like, man, I don't want to go to that guy's. I don't want to hang out with that guy when I could be doing nothing. Yeah, dude, sometimes loneliness is worth the alternative, man. I get sad, or I feel not, because I know that a lot of good friends, I'll end on this. We're getting off stage here in a little bit. I'm just going to end on this one subject here. And why I'm anti-people, why I don't maintain relationships, why I'm a loner. It's because I don't like that. I don't like having people in my business, getting in my business, judging me, like, oh, you're crazy for thinking that. Like, no, I'm not. I don't need you to tell it. I don't agree. I like to decide when I'm crazy. I don't need you telling me when I'm doing something. No, I actually take issue with that. Yeah, I take issue with a lot of things, and that's why I value my alone time. And when I see people who do have like these friends, so-called close friends, I see how their friends talk about them. I see how they play pranks on them. Like, are you kidding me? Do you know how fucking quick I would shut somebody out of my life if they pulled a prank on me? Like if they like throw water in my face, like it's gotta be a pretty goddamn funny prank or else it's over with. If somebody does anything that leaves permanent damage, forget about it. So I don't know, like when I see friends like fucking with their friends, it's like, was that worth it? Was you being in that friendship worth what you got out of it? Is them fucking with you like that? Like they punch you in the balls and you're still their friend? I want to not have somebody that's going to like punch me in the balls. So I enjoy everything about my life. We didn't cover too many serious topics on this episode, but we don't have to. I didn't have to. I already hit the hour mark just rambling about dreams and stuff. Dreams. I'm going to keep doing it. Keep living your dreams. Hey, if you got nothing good to report. Nah, it's not that I had nothing to report this episode, because it a slight, even just figuring out anything is a slight achievement, but then you want it to be pure. You want it to be for the reasons you want. You don't want to go viral because you just rebranded something. Anyway, I already complained about that. Why am I rehashing? Let's not do that. Let's end the episode. I guess I started wanting to talk more because actually an hour and 15 minutes isn't even that long for me to be talking to somebody. I can talk for longer than that. But anyway, this has been episode 37 of the Tim Weichselbaum Show. It's actually been 38. I lost track. It's 38, episode 38. And I will see y'all next week, y'all.